Hi Team Fantasy Rugby, we've got a packed episode of This Week in Fantasy Rugby coming up. The Champions Cup is back this week, the round of 16, one of the most exciting and enjoyable weekends there is in club rugby. We've also got round 8 of Super Rugby coming up, but no Women's Six Nations this week as it's a fallow week. As always, if you're any interested in one or two leagues, then you can use the chapters I've added in the description to skip to the areas that you want to look at. Okay, so kicking off with a roundup of the big stories from round 2 of the Women's Six Nations. 2 rounds down, and what a ride it's been so far. With a bit of a breather now before round 3, it's the perfect time to take stock, learn some lessons, and make sure your fantasy teams are ready to dominate in the weeks ahead. And let's be honest, there's only one place to start this week: Ellie Kildunn. The highest fantasy score of last year's Six Nations returned to the England starting 15 in style, and wow, did she deliver. On her 50th England cap, she bagged a hat-trick, ran for 138 metres, beat 8 defenders and walked away with 81 fantasy points, the highest score of the round. She was the most popular captain pick, and for good reason. When in doubt, always remember the golden rule: always captain Kildunn. Now let's talk super subs, because round 2 was all about those game changers off the bench. Leading the way, Abby Burton. The England debutant exploded onto the scene, scoring 2 tries in just 13 minutes. If you slap the super sub booster on her, you were rewarded with a ridiculous 117 points. Massive. Well done to anyone who super subbed her. She wasn't the only one delivering off the bench. Dorothy Wall, Brittany Hogan, Emily Lane, Ellis Martin, Maud Muir, Hannah Bottoman, they all put up huge numbers with the super sub multiplier. If you nailed your bench picks this week, well played. Now, the big question that's been plaguing fantasy managers the first 2 rounds of the Women's Six Nations and will carry on for the rest of the tournament is: which England players do you pick? With a maximum of just 4 per team, it's getting tougher every week. Whilst Kildunn and Burton were fantasy gold in round 2, some big names had quieter rounds. Jess Breach, for example. Jess Breach only managed to score 3 points in round 2, but don't panic, this was an outlier. Expect Breach to bounce back strong in round 3. The key to selecting your 4 England players, really you just need to look at the stats, look at how the teams that England are playing in that week performed in previous weeks. Are there any weak links? Are there any areas that they tend to ship a lot of points? Look how they performed so far and just choose wisely and hope for the best. And finally, let's talk value picks, because round 2 showed that you don't need to break the bank to score big. There were 4 players priced at 12 stars or less at the start of round 2 who all scored 40 points or more in round 2. Anna McGann, available for just 10.3 stars at the beginning of the round, put up 67 points with a hat-trick against Italy for Ireland. Tiani Felu had another brilliant game, available for 11.5 stars at the start of this round. She dominated with 57 points. Serafina Kemba, available for 10.4 stars, and again, a similar out of position option. She's set up as a prop when she's playing in the back row. She smashed in 51 points. And finally, Aoife Dalton of Ireland, who was available for 9.9 stars at the start of round 2, was named player of the match and rewarded managers with 49 points in round 2. So if you're looking for bargains around 3, there are plenty out there. You just need to find them. I'm not intending to big myself up, but all 4 of those players were included in my value picks in my round 2 YouTube video last week. So make sure you keep an eye out for my round 3 picks next week. So let's take a look at how my team got on in round 2. I had a great week. I ended up on 648 points and I'm up to 659th in the world. Like many people, I captain Kildunn, always captain Kildunn. 162 points in total with the captain multiplier. But I also had some good performance from Alyssa Dinker with 27 points, Meg Jones with 38 points, Morgane Bourgeois with 35 points, Anna McGann with 67 points, Aoife Wafer with 39 points, Tane Felu with 57, Mane Felu 53 points, Serafina Kemba got me 51 points. Super sub, oh, what might have been. I was seriously considering Abby Burton, but in the end, I went for Amy Cockayne based on her form in round 1. What an error that was. Cockayne, she got me 12 points, but Burton could have got me triple figures and she could have got me right up there in world rankings. Anyway, 648 points. I'm pretty happy with that and I'm not really regretting much. Okay, a quick look at the FRG League. In the lead, it's T-Dog. T-Dog did brilliantly in the men's Six Nations as well. He or she was always up in the top 10. So T-Dog, you're some fantasy player, maximum respect. In second place, we've got Scott H, and then Dan's Dark Horses in third place. And then making up the top 10, we've got Dowsing for Tries, we've got Mel, we've got Let's Ruck and Roll, Cheeky Binders, The New Team, Euro Dragons, and Cocaine Addicts. Well done, all of you in the top 10. Great work. So that's it for round 2. Let me know how your team got on in the comments. Who were your best and worst picks in round 2? And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss the next set of Women's Six Nations picks. We've now got a week off from the Women's Six Nations, but as always, I'll be back next week with a round 3 picks video. Okay, now time to take a quick look at my other teams from last week, kicking off with the Prem. A quick look at my Dream 15 team. Bit disappointing. I had Ravalva as my captain. He only got 37 points. Bernard as a super sub, again a bit disappointing with 31 points. I had some good performers. I had Henry Pollock, Fitz Harding, Tom Willis, and Santi Carreras, as well as Max Ajomo and Josh Hodge. So decent, but could have been a lot better. Over to Super Brew, which went really, really well. So this week I ended up with 226 points. My top performers, Tom Willis, captain. I have Finn Russell, who got 20 points. I took a bit of a gamble on Hall in the centres. He was playing out of position for Saris. He got me 19 points. Will Muir, 32 points, huge performance. Henry Pollock, again, that guy just can't stop scoring. Fitz Harding, 15 points, decent. So overall, 226 points. That's pushed me right up. I'm now in the global top 100, 95th in total, and top of most of my leagues. So very happy with how Premiership is shaping up. On to the URC, and again, it was another week where I got over 200 points, mostly as a result of my captain, Darcy Graham, who got me 71 points in total. I also had good performances from Stravino Jacobs with 17 points, Matt Curry with 16 points. I had Thomas Ahern in the second row, 17 points. And then all of my front row delivered. I had Bowen Venter with 13.5 points. Vessels of the Bulls playing out of position on the prop, but actually as a hooker, he got me 15 points. And Johnny Matthews got me 11 points off the bench. So very good, very happy with that result. Okay, on to Super Rugby. Starting with Super Brew, I had to take a 12-point hit because my team was absolutely ravaged when it came to the buys, but I still ended up doing pretty well. 184 points. Top performers, Caleb Tangitau, 27 points. Will Jordan was my captain on 23 points. Could have been better. Carlo Tizzano, 21.5 points. And Cam Roygard on 14 points. Decent, but still could have been a bit better. On to the official game now, and my team did okay, 676 points, which is a good score. I used my triple captain chip on Will Jordan, and that resulted in 123 points. So he got 41 points, which it could have been worse, but I was expecting Jordan to massively haul against Moana, and it just didn't happen for the Crusaders. That's fantasy rugby. Caleb Tangitau got me 98 points, huge performance. Ardy Surveyor, 60 points as well. And just some great all-round performers in my team last week. And wrapping up Super Rugby, I had to flag the undoubted highlight of my fantasy week, beating Mr. FRTV himself, Andrew Howitt, in the FRTV Premier League Fantasy Rugby Draft League. I couldn't possibly forget to mention that. Unlucky Dr. Howitt. Okay, on to this week, and we have Super Rugby plus the return of the Champions Cup. So kicking off this week with Super Rugby, we only have one team on a bye this week, that's the Brumbies, and we have 5 pretty close looking matches. So in terms of my picks this week, I'm just looking for the big, reliable options. So the 5 players on my list, starting off with Carlo Tizzano, another 2 tries in round 7. He's up to 10 now in 6 games. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Until he stops scoring, I won't stop selecting him. Then we've got Caleb Tangitau. He's still in insane form. In round 7, he carried for 98 metres, got 2 tries and assist. He beat 4 defenders, made 2 offloads and 1 a turnover. I can't ignore form like that. He'll be straight back in my team this week. Then we've got Damien McKenzie. D-Mac was on a bye in the last round, so he'll be fresh and ready to go. He's always good for kicks, always good for assists, tries and defenders beaten. He'll probably be my captain in the official game. Then we've got Will Jordan. It was his first tryless match since round 2 last week, but I don't see him staying down for long. He's a class act and he should go well against the Drua. And then finally, Sean Stevenson. I'm backing Shooter to go well against the Reds in round 8. He's well rested and he's always a dangerous carrier. He's a good differential this week. Then on to the Champions Cup. Some huge games this weekend. The games I'm looking at to target for maximum fantasy points, there are 4 that really stand out for me. First up, Toulon v Saracens. With Toulon at home, I can see them putting Saracens comfortably to bed. Then Leinster v Quins, and as a Quins fan, it really pains me to say this, but Leinster at home is just too big a hill to climb. Quins, they'll put up a good fight, but I can see Leinster running away with this. Bordeaux v Ulster. Bordeaux have been flying in this tournament, and I can't see anything but LBB and his boys destroying Ulster at home. And then finally, Toulouse v Sale. Sale have been solid recently. Facing the Galacticos of Toulouse in their own backyard is just too much of an ask. 5 players I'm targeting. Let's start with Louis Bielbieri. Don't really need to say anything more about him. He was the record-breaking try scorer in the Six Nations. He's already back scoring tries back at club level. You just can't go without him this week. Blair Kinghorn, another star of the Six Nations. Again, he'll be racking up his trademark meters against Ulster, and he could rack up a huge score. Dan Sheehan, it's his first match since the Six Nations. He'll be fresh and well rested and will likely be in the tries. You know the rule, always pick Sheehan. Jack Willis for Toulouse. He's an absolute talisman for his club. Tries, tackles, carries and turnovers. He'll be in the thick of it as usual. And then finally, Damien Penaud. He had a disappointing Six Nations by his standards, but he's been on fire in the Champions Cup this season, scoring 9 tries in his last 2 Champions Cup matches. And this could be the game that he reminds us what he's capable of. So more details are over at fantasyrugbygeek.com. My full round 8 Super Rugby picks are already up there, and my Champions Cup picks will go live. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode of This Week in Fantasy Rugby. That's it. Make sure you get your teams in for this weekend's games, and good luck.